Time now for Media Watch, and for that I'm joined on set by James Creedon. Hi to you, James.
Hi, Thomas.
And you're starting with some of the coverage that's coming on social media following that attack here in central Paris, outside the capital's Notre Dame Cathedral.
That's right. I was looking at it in the minutes and hour or so immediately after the incident was announced. And it's interesting to see how certain media, I think, sort of went into a degree of hysteria. Others remained a little bit calmer in their coverage of it, waiting to see what facts would emerge. So let's take a look at some of the tweets that I kind of just picked at random online. For example, Sky News spoke about an incident at Notre Dame Cathedral that people were remaining calm within, and the police had warned people not to come into the area, of course, until such time as things had been cleared. This is France 24's Twitter account where it was being called the Paris police shooting, because of course a police officer was at the centre of it all. And then, really before any facts had emerged, Fox News on their Twitter account were in all caps referring to the Notre Dame attack, which is not strictly speaking untrue, but I suppose we've become used to these monikers or these slogans, or even almost the branding of these sort of the terror attacks, where that would suggest, in fact, that it was a lot more grave. And that
it's a very delicate balance between
certainly
an attack and an incident. You know, like clearly he arrived at the scene carrying hammers, which would suggest that it was an attack.
Right, and that it could possibly have been worse, I suppose. But I think what struck me is before the facts were all assembled, within the first hour of the story having emerged, we were seeing it being referred to as the Notre Dame attack in that way, where if people were just giving a cursory glance to social media, they might conclude that this had been some terrible incident, which was far more deadly than it was. There were also images doing the rounds of social media, such as this one, which, again, I saw that image, which was in the aftermath of the police asking everyone to raise their hands in the church.
This is inside the cathedral.
That's inside the cathedral, where the police asked those assembled to raise their hands. But that image was being shared without any explanation of what had happened, and you might actually think that there was a hostage situation going on, or that they had their hands raised because of the attacker. So that's just some impressions I got of the early coverage, and of course the pitfalls that are always there with social media, where fact checking isn't part of the picture for everyone who's tweeting, and where an echo chamber or kind of degree of hysteria can build up, which is not proportionate to the facts.
And this attack, of course, if we can call it an attack, comes just days before the French nation votes in parliamentary elections. And the National Front's list of candidates' use of social media has been examined by BuzzFeed.
So BuzzFeed, which has been increasingly going into investigative journalism online in any case, for the last number of years. This is a good example of that. They have done a very close analysis of the 573 National Front candidates' social media presence. They determined that over 100 of them have extremely borderline tweets, shares on social media, or likes. We don't have time to go into all of the examples, but white supremacy websites or Facebook pages that have been liked. This is one Lyon-based candidate who has liked very controversial pages, and he's not alone. And they basically go down through it. It's a very long article, some more controversial than others, I would say, but certainly what it's showing is that the National Front's PR at a national level, which has been referred to dédiabolisation here, or a kind of a normalization of the discourse. It's not the case for a lot of their candidates. Macron is currently being slated by a lot of media saying that his En Marche party is really thought they're likely to do very, very well. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but certainly a lot of analysis of that, all aspects of the upcoming elections in the French media at the moment, Thomas. Just maybe very quickly with this front cover of L'Express, which has been getting a lot of coverage because it looks like a gossip magazine or glossy magazine for teenage girls, maybe. But it was done tongue-in-cheek. It's a serious news weekly, but it has generated a massive amount of comment online today because what they're basically doing is they're poking fun at the degree to which Macron is becoming almost like a pop star in terms of media coverage. Don't have time to go into more details on it, but I think the amount of buzz it's generated is probably pleasing a lot of people over at L'Express. Free advertising.
Indeed, James Creedon with Media Watch. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.